At the start of anything exciting, it's irresistible to wonder how it's all going to turn out. To picture what could happen as everything unfolds. To imagine all that could be possible once the action begins. Now, 6 months later, it's just as energizing to look back at the stars, the stories, and the surprises that emerged along the way to the summit of the National Women's Soccer League season. There was the talent spread across the country that seemed to defy limits in new ways every week.
Pulls it back, Marta again, another time, the shot, put it in!
There were the big names that led their teams to contention.
The shot from Haran, and we're tied!
And there were the new young faces who showed how fast they could grow up. There were teams that served as a testament to just how hard you can fight to win.
A magical header from Megan Rapinoe!
And there was a franchise that stormed into a new home and produced moments its city could hold on to.
Rodriguez! Whoa! Amy Rodriguez makes it count this time!
There were milestones.
Carpenter comes on.
There were breakthroughs.
Sam Kerr, half a century of goals in the NWSL for the Aussie.
And there was as dominating a season as you're ever going to see in sports.
North Carolina Courage. There's only one goal that remains.
Now, 110 games later, there are just two sides left standing. One looking to put a cap on a phenomenal run of supremacy.
Lewis, the shot is a hard one and it's in!
The other hoping that the comforts of home can propel them to a surprise finish.
Header off the post, and now it's in!
Welcome to the National Women's Soccer League Championship. After all the excitement, all the surprises, all the action, this is how the story is going to end. It's the NWSL Championship on Lifetime. The North Carolina Courage versus the Portland Thorns, live.
At Coastal Credit Union, we offer financial services, but we're not a bank, and that's a good thing. Here's why. Banks answer to Wall Street. At Coastal, we're owned by our members. That means we answer to you. Banks charge their customers inflated, unnecessary fees to increase their profits. We actually share our profits with our members through higher dividends, better rates, and lower fees. Find out more about how we're different than banks and how we work harder for you and your money at bankbetter.org.
I'm here with a few of my best friends, the pediatric specialists at WakeMed Children's. There's a whole bunch of them: pediatric surgery, cardiology, orthopedics, ENT. The list of specialties goes on. And everyone is like pediatric trained. Special care, special people makes me feel pretty special. WakeMed Children's, your children's hospital, and a whole lot more.
Nearly 150 years of experience goes into making each and every Continental tire. So you can trust with total confidence that our tires will deliver superior performance, no matter where the road takes you. Continental Tire, for what you do.
So both these teams hope to raise that NWSL Championship trophy at the end of this match. The stage is set, and when we return, we'll have starting lineups in the opening kickoff of the 2018 NWSL Championship. Megan Klingenberg getting some quick attention here prior to this match being ready to start. A change of context there in her eyes. Key player along that back line, obviously for the Thorns. How about that? Doing that on the fly.
Always got to have those extra set of pair, that extra pair ready, I guess. I would know. I need them. Can't see without them.
Crowd applauds as Klingenberg and the Thorns now appear ready to go. Hey, let's love the game one more time on Lifetime. This one's for a championship as these two teams meet for the second straight year in the NWSL Championship Game. Jaylene Hinkle to throw it in for North Carolina. Remember how quickly they scored in the semifinals, striking early, the earliest goal ever to be scored in the NWSL playoffs, and Jess McDonald broke free, put it away in the 5th minute against Chicago. Heath is taken down early, but our referee, Guido Gonzalez, says play on initially. Allie, you and Kate both talked about the importance of how this game was officiated, setting the tone today.
And he got the call right, even though he was a little bit late making that decision. Tobin Heath, so smart there, just suckering in her defender and rolling her.
Advantage played early, then the free kick given. Heath will be the one to take it for Portland. Thorns led the league this season in goals off of set pieces. So in going in toward Roland, Abby Erceg so good in the air. New Zealand international and captain for North Carolina. Here comes Hinkle on that far side, playing amidst the boos. Caitlin Ford. She was not a part of that NWSL Championship Game last season, just joining the Thorns this year. And late in the season at that, as she was injured for much of the season, recovering from injury. North Carolina coming off their record-setting season, trying to become the first ever Shield winner in the NWSL, to also come away with the NWSL Championship. Merritt Mathias trying to get it over the top for McDonald, but Franch will take it. How spectacular was Adriana Franch, especially in that first half of the semifinal against Seattle.
So massive, that performance she put on, that display. Kept her team in the game, really allowed them to fight back.
Came back to score 2 unanswered goals and win it, get back here to this championship match. Here is the MVP of the NWSL this season, Lindsay Horan, over to Heath. Heath had some space, both defenders went with Horan.
And that's one of the matchups, Jen, that you got to keep an eye on today. It's Mathias against Heath. Well, the first two, Heath has easily won, gotten the better of her there. I mean, just glances away from pressure there, and then cover's not close enough. She's able to get that shot off. Every coach we've talked to that has faced this Portland side said you want to eliminate the amount of times Tobin Heath can get on the ball, get faced up, and go at you. To this point, Heath already getting herself imprinted in, not even 4 minutes in.
Ellie Carpenter had some room to move up the field, but then couldn't connect with Surna Gorcevic. The 18-year-old adds to her youngest in the NWSL accolades, now the youngest to ever appear in the postseason, just 18 years old. Christine Sinclair up to Caitlin Ford. Ford going at that back line of North Carolina, poked it out a little too far for Heath. Horan. 3 North Carolina players around her. She gets it to Megan Klingenberg. Emily Menges. Now to Celeste Bouret, who had a terrific semifinal for Portland. Step in from Hinkle to take it away. Denise O'Sullivan, a player who her teammates voted as their most valuable player this season. And
yeah, just watch her movement, watch the way that she solves pressure. She does a lot of the simple things really well, and that's one of the big keys, I think, for North Carolina being so consistent this year, is her ability to help solve pressure, to open the field up.
Her job grows bigger as well with the absence of McCall Zerboni, who is an MVP candidate in the league this season, but broke her elbow on U.S. national team duty, so has not been able to be here with her team in the postseason. You hear the boos for Jaylene Hinkle. That's something we've heard a couple of times, including in the semifinals. Denise O'Sullivan ran into some trouble trying to keep that ball moving forward, but nearly won back.
And just look where Tobin Heath is defending. It's all the way on the opposite side of the pitch in that defensive end.
Jess McDonald has that long throw-in at her disposal. It's paid dividends before in Providence Park. 2016 semifinal of Western New York, her throw-in very influential in that, as it's a big 4-3 win for Western New York over Portland. Hinkle to send the ball back in. Mewis in the air along with Ursag. Dabinia followed it up. Still bouncing around in the box. Portland wanting a handball. The shot is taken by Williams. She wants a corner kick out of it, but our referee says no.
And it's on the resurface here. The North Carolina gets a good look. This one drops down at the feet of Dabinia. Not a good clearance initially. Then they can't get the second one out. Hard to see there if it was in fact a handball. And then Lynn Williams just shanks that one.
Mark Parsons has an NWSL Championship to his name last season. Regular season winners 2 years ago with Portland. He and Paul Riley, both NWSL Coach of the Year candidates this season. No surprise. There are two teams finishing 1-2 in the table. North Carolina on the top in the regular season. There's Emily Sonic. Good to see her as she left in stoppage time of that semifinal, but didn't seem like there'd be much that would keep her off this field. And hearing Mark Parsons' comments during the week.
Well, that's something North Carolina will surely want to take advantage of or test early, is how confident she is on that leg.
Ursag up to Hinkle. She'll serve it toward Williams. Dunn trying to wait for the bounce, is fouled by Heath. And now a free kick coming for North Carolina.
And Dunn really intently uses her body well just to shield Heath's recovery to that path of the ball.
Crystal Dunn, former Golden Boot winner, MVP in this league. And now back in the NWSL, her first season with North Carolina. She won those awards with Washington back in 2015. Adriana Franch trying to get her wall set in front of her. Reigning NWSL Goalkeeper of the Year. Everyone jostling for position. It'll be Hinkle's left foot to send it, but out of bounds it goes. Paul Riley, the 2017 NWSL Coach of the Year. His North Carolina team's now back-to-back regular season champions. Trying to get that NWSL Championship trophy to add to an already impressive resume. This team this season, just incredible. The records that they set, the best ever in the NWSL in wins, goals, goals against, points. And they were far and away the best team in the league during the regular season. This ball touched out to McDonald. Jess McDonald cutting it back. The shot was blocked. The follow-up blocked as well. That was done.
And And Jen, this all just comes off of a very simple winning the first and second ball off of their goal kick, Portland's own goal kick. North Carolina pounces on it, and just so direct in how they can get at their opponent.
So many targets in here for Jess McDonald to choose from. Abby Urseg will come up. Sam Mewis is in there. Lynn Williams, also dangerous, but don't forget about number 10 in red. It bounces back to O'Sullivan. Her shot blocked. Christine Sinclair, the bounce unfriendly. Heath had to recover, but it will be a North Carolina throw. Mathias, big part of this North Carolina team this season, member of the NWSL second 11 in her first year with the Courage. Sinclair took away any opportunity for Mewis to get on that ball. Serna Gorchevich fighting to get to this ball. It'll hold up for her. Through to Heath, across to Horan. She skips around Hinkle. Urseg comes over in defense. Horan looking far post. Back to Serna Gorchevich. Just couldn't get the touch on it she wanted. Hinkle up to McDonald. Trying to get inside on Ellie Carpenter. A veteran against a rookie. Carpenter did well. Kemper, reigning NWSL Defender of the Year. Both she and Abby Urseg honored in the best 11 this season. How, when, and how much will North Carolina pressure in this match? Certainly something to keep an eye on.
Well, I think they've started this match much better than they started the semi. Their energy, the way they've closed down the space for Portland has been good to this point.
Remember, North Carolina's semifinal was played here at Providence Park on Tuesday night after having to be moved from Cary due to the threat of Hurricane Florence. Heath, some fancy dribbling to keep it in. Tobin Heath charging toward the goal. Out to Ford. Caitlin Ford, back to Heath. The Thorns have created beautifully, but the final touch has been off thus far. Here comes Lynn Williams after a missed touch in the back from Portland. Williams up high off the post, and it's in! Dabinia puts North Carolina on top.
And it's actually been a relatively open match. I mean, Portland was just on the other side, and here comes North Carolina. The miscommunication between the two center backs allows Lynn Williams to wriggle free there, and then she gets fortunate with the deflection. That just changes it enough. Franch can't get a hand to it, but it pings off the bar right back into the path of Dabinia as she's just banking on the ability of her teammate to get in behind, and she's rewarded for that effort.
So Dabinia, who only played 10 minutes in a playoff appearance last season before getting hurt and having to miss the final for North Carolina, gives the Courage the early lead.
And you see this with North Carolina, and it's one of the reasons they have been so prolific going forward is a lot of the players count on each other getting in behind. They count on the fact they're going to get that service off, and they all commit and get into the 18.
Heath. Looking toward the goal, Roland beats Serna Gorchevich to the ball. Now remember that Portland has gone down in their last two matches, including the semifinal and the regular season finale, both of those against Seattle. They went down a goal in both of those and came back to win.
And it's not as though Portland hasn't had anything going forward to this point. Tobin Heath on the left side has looked like a woman on a mission in this final, excuse me.
Here is There's Sam Mewis, who wowed everyone with her goal late in that semifinal.
And this is how North Carolina created their chance. It was just a hopeful ball really forward to Lynn Williams. Mangus can't clear it, and then Carpenter isn't able to really get much on that cross coming in. Cross shot, we don't know what it is, but it pings off the post. Fortunately for Dabinia, who can slot that in.
And Dabinia actually had the game-winning goal against Portland in the season opener. These two teams, North Carolina beating Portland in all 3 matchups this season. Rain is really starting to come down now. We saw some sunshine and blue skies move over Providence Park just before kickoff, but it rained here earlier and it is raining now. Here comes McDonald, 2 defenders around her. Williams snuck into the mix. Dunn was there as well. Dunn will take the volley, but it's high.
And for all our talk about how physical this match was going to be, it's been free-flowing, and there has been a lot of transition moments that I didn't really foresee coming into this matchup. I didn't think Portland was going to allow North Carolina to break free, and I didn't suppose North Carolina would allow the same for Portland to change it, get Tobin Heath in open space, but both teams have allowed it.
I know that North Carolina has a goal to show for it. Do you feel the way it has been played so far benefits one team more than the other?
I would think it benefits North Carolina with how explosive they are in transition.
Hinkle on left foot, so dangerous. McDonald just missed it.
And these are moments they've created all season long, and they're doing it here in the final. McDonald just gliding in right behind Mangus. Mangus doesn't know she's there, and that ball is dropped in on a dime by Jaylene Hinkle. I think in the semifinal she was a bit rattled by the boos, but to this point in the match, I think she started out strong.
She has had some time to serve the ball in and can be dangerous there. You mentioned the boos, those stemming from an interview that she gave with the 700 Club earlier this year when she talked about her reason for turning down an opportunity to play with the U.S. national team back in 2017 because she did not want to wear the LGBT pride jerseys. And of course, as you can imagine, that did not sit well with many people, and it is the cause of the boos here in Portland. Horan tripped up after winning the ball. One of the reasons, Allie, I think you would agree, Lindsay Horan was the first player, not the Golden Boot winner, to win MVP, is the work she does on both ends of the field. She's been great offensively, but she does so much defensive work as well.
And we don't even celebrate it, we don't talk about it because of how fantastic she actually is in dictating tempo, dictating the way this team can spread the field. We talk about all her offensive contributions, her goals, but it is there, Jen, and that's an element of her game that she didn't have, I would say, before this season. To be able to go box to box, the fitness to do it over the course of this really grinding season, it's been fantastic.
Dabinia had McDonald in her sights. McDonald got it around Sonnet. Carpenter has to clear it out, but it will be a corner kick for North Carolina, first of the match. North Carolina always dangerous on set pieces as well. Horan won it for Portland. And the Thorns escape with no further damage after that one. North Carolina trying to break the curse of the Shield winners, who have gotten to the championship all but 1 year in this league's history, but have never been able to win it. It's going to be a first for one of these teams either way. Either North Carolina breaks the curse of the Shield winners getting it, or Portland becomes the first 3-time NWSL champion as they He won it last year and in the first year of the league back in 2013. Sana to watch this one in to French. Klingenberg put that one over the head of Caitlin Ford. Lewis. Out of space closed by Sinclair and Heath. Ball will make its way all the way back to Roland. North Carolina out shooting Portland 8-3 so far in this one. It's been the story in their meetings during the regular season as well. They outshot the Thorns 68-21 in their 3 meetings. Corner kicks, they had 24-3 for Portland. But in truth, North Carolina did that to a lot of teams this season with those lopsided numbers and the record-breaking season that they had, as Ellie Carpenter got the ball dried off a little bit. She also has quite a long throw.
One of the areas that Paul Riley had North Carolina working on in training yesterday.
Horan doubly defended there, but the 2 North Carolina players headed out. It'll be the first corner of the match for Tobin Heath and Portland. The Rose City Riveters in the wall behind Heath. Part of a sellout crowd of over 21,000 on hand at Providence Park for this championship. It's going toward Horan. Bure headed it the next time. Carpenter. Bure back onto it. Ford bumping Hinkle off the ball. Horan across, but behind Sonnet. If North Carolina goes quickly, Portland has a lot of players up. They're not going to attempt it this time. Heath taking it. Back to Heath it goes. Handball whistled. North Carolina will get the kick.
It's just when it bounces up from Tobin's touch, catches her own arm. Matthias was coming in late there too. I think still Heath is getting the better of Matthias early in this matchup.
Davinia came streaking out of nowhere unmarked to get that ball. She's calling out instructions. Crystal Dunn was waiting for it. 4 Thorns players. It's eventually Horan who has to clean it up. Matthias into the area. The bounce into the gloves of Adriana French. Kate Markgraf working the sidelines, paying attention to that North Carolina bench in particular. Kate, what you got?
Well, after the goal was scored, the entire bench went up and celebrated. But what's interesting is that the coaches put their hands up and with all 5 fingers, almost like a big 5 moment. That's something, if I think it is, it's something that comes back from national days, that most goals, 80% of goals are scored in the first 5 and the last 5 every half and after goals. So he communicated to Jess McDonald. Jess McDonald pumped her fist, and they were communicating through sign language after that. So this team is very excited moving forward.
There's the collision, Kate, that just happened, and that is a great point, obviously, Allie. You always have to be wary. Don't let your guard down just because you got a goal.
Well, absolutely, you have to stay clued in. But I think when I'm looking back on already how we got to this point in the match, a lot of the giveaways by Portland have been in their own defensive third. They're gifting opportunities to Carolina, and it's that pressure of Carolina that's forcing them to feel like they have less time than they in fact do.
That is a staple of Paul Riley teams, that pressure, forcing decisions. Ford.
Yeah, the back line for Portland just doesn't look settled yet in this match.
Ford got it out and back into the middle of the field. This could slip back through
does such great work here just to hold up the ball. We showed this in pregame, her ability to sucker defenders over and free up other players. Gives herself some space on that flank, and then she just picks the wrong option. Sinclair's diving in at that near post, and no one's coming for the far. Tobin Heath is more sitting at the 6. There's a look at a little bit of skill there from Crnogorcevic. Little nutmeg.
Mark Parsons saying he just really liked the experience of the international player in Crnogorcevic getting to start over Midge Purse in this match. Carpenter, big ball across. Matthias played it right back down to the middle of the field. Horan turned it, but Matthias recovered. Throw in for Portland.
Allie, we're talking about the Portland back line. Mark Parsons keeps saying to them, play quicker and play forward. He wants the ball to get forward and not turn it over in their own third, to your point before.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to play out of too much pressure right now, and they don't have the organization to solve it, to be safe.
Klingenberg with Crystal Dunn defending. Bure. Hinkle read that pass all the way and took it away for North Carolina. She goes back to Lynn Williams. Williams and McDonald, such a handful at the top for North Carolina. It's taken care of that time by the Portland defense.
It's a couple times now, Jen, that Hinkle's read that pass out wide. She's stepping up and reading it incredibly well.
Moran, how much time and space will she have to dictate what happens in the middle of the field? She pulls this ball out wide to Klingenberg. To Klingenberg. Crystal Dunn doing an awful lot of defensive work for North Carolina. Sinclair, one-on-one against Ursag. The two internationals and captains going against one another, and Sinclair wins the corner. Second corner of the match for the Thorns. First from this side for Heath to attempt. Toward the back post in Sinclair. It was won by North Carolina. Portland whistle for the foul. Guido Gonzalez has been fairly quick and consistent with his whistle thus far in this match.
It's Jess McDonald that rises up there with Sinclair. Sinclair just catches her from behind. But yeah, the referee hasn't had to be as active as I thought he'd have to be at this point.
Horan in some traffic. Williams. Could she keep it in? No, it did go out of bounds.
Allie, we're talking about the official, Guido Gonzalez. You think he's having a good game, so do I. Mark Parsons disagrees. He's giving Christina Uncle an earful, the fourth official, over and over again throughout the first half.
Dallin, does Mark Parsons ever think the referee is having a good game?
0% of the time, so I'm just going to make sure I give that obligatory report, and you guys can take it back.
Coaches do tend to see things differently at times.
Tend to?
Gives her some room. Sinclair still with it across, a little bit out of the reach of Ford.
And Sinclair read this so incredibly well. It looked like North Carolina had great shape to solve it. It was Dahlkemper to Muse back to O'Sullivan, but Sinclair just picks her pocket up and then runs at the back line, forces Abby Ersig out to pressure her, and then the cover comes in from O'Sullivan, and she dances away from it. Looks like she's trying to do a shot cross, bend that far post. Hopefully one of her teammates gets on it, redirects it, but it doesn't connect. And the midfield battle, Jen, it is such a fascinating one today to watch how North Carolina tries to keep the ball away from Lindsey Horan and how Sinclair can get in behind that back far post. Those two defensive center mids.
Ankle.
And it really looks like today Dabinia is the one that has the green light to go, to be the one that puts that run in behind. If Jess McDonald is spinning out, if Lynn Williams gets it at her feet, it's Dabinia that is the one that has the initiative to get in behind that back line of Portland. Crystal Dunn probably tied for more of the defensive responsibilities today.
And you imagine players like a Crystal Dunn in the midfield, helping to make up that defensive presence, usually filled by McCall Zerboni.
And a lot of that, though, will fall on Mewis and O'Sullivan to slide across and deal with Sinclair, who's been doing a nice job of finding some pockets of space.
Lindsey Horan having a little conversation with the referee as North Carolina gets set for this kick, and now she'll trot back into her regular position there, try to win the ball as she often does in the air, either offensively or defensively. This one will be Dabinia. No challenge for Horan, but it looked like North Carolina at that point content to let her head it, goes out of bounds, they'll take the corner. Second corner kick of the match for the Courage. Their goal in the 13th minute from Dabinia, the difference in this match thus far. Mewis will serve it toward the back post. Sinclair headed it initially. O'Sullivan won it, now forward. No chance for the counter. Here is O'Sullivan out to Matthias. Heath trying to make life difficult for Merritt Matthias, who keeps her cool. Fancy bit of work from Dabinia to open up O'Sullivan into the box. Missed her first touch, the shot, then not able to get in. Jess McDonald is down on the ground for North Carolina. The referee will blow the whistle and check on her.
How good was this by Dabinia? Watch her turn, first of all, to get spun and then faced up, and then she just cuts it, and that little slip pass takes out the whole midfield, takes out two backs, and Mangus and Klingenberg, and O'Sullivan can't capitalize on it because she can't get the ball out under her feet. But that is so brilliant by Dabinia and O'Sullivan. You talk about this team being so counter-structured, so direct in their play. They are, but there's moments like that that just break lines incisively and effectively, and you don't have to go wide. You can go right down the center if you have players like that that can solve pressure.
North Carolina Courage leading the Portland Thorns on the Thorns home field of Providence Park in the 2018 NWSL Championship Game here on Lifetime. Jen Hildreth, Allie Wagner, Dallin Cuff, Kate Markgraf here with you for this match. Dabinia's goal in the 13th minute put North Carolina on top. North Carolina has outshot Portland 11-5. Though the Thorns have had more of the possession so far in this first half. Anna Sortogorcevic kept it long enough, and now Horan will take the quick throw. Sinclair. Heath around it, as is Matthias for North Carolina. McDonald, a little push from Carpenter. From right about midfield to serve this one in for the Courage. McDonald turning for it. Goes to Mewis, her shot! Not on frame. And not something you want to see if you're Portland. Mewis wide open to take that shot.
And no, and it's another gift though from Portland. I mean, this ball is just played forward and Megan Klingenberg knocks it down. I mean, that'd be a beautiful back pass if you're a front runner. Right into stride for Sam Mewis. She's just trying to slice across that, faded into that near post. Not on frame though.
As we inch closer to halftime here, Allie, anything that you would do differently if you're Portland trailing the game at this point?
Well, I keep thinking back to Mark Parsons and what he told Caitlin Ford at half against Seattle, and that was press when it doesn't even make sense. Like at times there, you just have to go and put them under pressure, put that other center back under pressure, and we will go with you, and that will help lift the team so they can be the ones that are on the front foot. Right now, I feel like defensively they're just a bit reeling because of the pressure coming from North Carolina, and they're not able to play their game, and they've got to flip the script, if you will, and try to put Carolina on their heels.
Immediately looking forward for Williams. Dunn saw an opening on the far side for Hinkle. Amidst the boos, Hinkle plays on. Cross, the header! That is the second one that Jess McDonald probably not only could have, but should have put away.
Reminiscent of perhaps the semifinal with Seattle, where they're not putting away their opportunities. This is Jaylene Hinkle in open space. She's going 1v1 now against Carpenter, and she gets enough of a window to get this ball across, and it is a good one. Just dying right in at that 6-yard box, and Jess McDonald's got to keep that down. But all that, Jen, came off of Portland trying to play out of too much pressure on this near side. They should have switched it. Instead, they played right in North Carolina's numbers. They won it. They pinged it out the other side, and off they go.
Great point, and Jess McDonald, of course, no stranger to putting away balls just like that. 42 goals all time for her. That is second in the history of this league. Williams has the speed to get to most balls like that. That one a little too far. A little too much on it.
One thing the coaches after that near miss from Jess McDonald was they were waiting for a moment where she came over for a throw, and then we're asking her repeatedly, head it down. You see Paul Riley impersonating how he would head it had he been the recipient of that.
And she's got a few more inches up there to bring it down than Paul Riley does too, Kate.
And a few more pieces of hair to deal with.
7 goals, 8 assists this season for Jess McDonald. Those assist numbers leading the league. Tack on to that her goal in the 5th minute in the semifinal against Chicago. And you wonder how that game might have been different had the Red Stars put away. Shoot, they had 2 chances early that hit the post or the crossbar. But as it was, North Carolina took the early lead, held on. Now she's forced backwards, though, to Heath. Trip of Dabinia. Is that kind of play that's going to have Paul Riley fighting mad. Heath after the fact, obvious foul. Frustration showing itself. cards yet, but a talking to for Tobin Heath.
And again, it's the little nifty footwork of Dabinia. Forces the foul, gets her team out of trouble. Able to dance away from 2 players closing in on her.
Dahlkemper's ball will find its way to Hinkle, who quickly puts it back to French, who missed it! North Carolina capitalizes!
Maybe Paul Riley's little note to Jess McDonald worked. She certainly headed that one down.
Or are they onside?
And this is one of those tweener balls. They don't win the first one. North Carolina doesn't. It's the resurface from Hinkle, and she drops it in. I mean, her service today has been fantastic, and 2 players are closing in on this. You can see Portland still pushing up. They don't read it. There's no pressure on the ball. You can't be stepping. You can't be squeezing. No one's dropping. And then Jess McDonald glances in, and France is just trying to come out because she has to in that situation and make a play on it and can't get there in time.
McDonald made no mistake on that opportunity, and boy, she was right on that offside line. No flag, and North Carolina now with a 2-goal lead.
And it's the back line that still just seems out of sorts to me for Portland. It's not typical for them to be misreading the situation like they did there.
North Carolina was shut out in last year's final against Portland. Now they've scored twice in this first 45. McDonald in there again. Has the chance to shoot it. And the disarray continues in the back for Portland. Coming up on the Ford halftime show, Dallin will take a look at some of the best of this 2018 NWSL season and chat live with NWSL Managing Director Amanda Duffy. Plus, Allie, Kate, and I will break down the first half. That's the Ford halftime show. Ford, go further. Denise O'Sullivan picking up the yellow card. First of this match to be handed out to either team.
It's the cut there by Gorchevich. That is not a yellow. If that's a repetitive foul later in the game, maybe, but no, not at that point.
Crystal Dunn setting up Mewis. Heath won it. Sinclair. Good recovery from Matthias to take it back for the Courage.
All the Courage players, there are about 5-6 players in that little zone there. And Portland tried to play through again.
That ball got through to McDonald. Now it's to Lynn Williams! North Carolina should be up 3. What a sequence there for North Carolina. Right down the middle they went.
And Jess McDonald playing provider, I believe it was, to Lynn Williams, who snuck in behind, just beats Klingenberg there, and she's trying to bend that far post. Not enough action on it, though, to bring it back in. Wow, Jen, for them not to be putting away these chances. I know they're sitting 2-0 up, but this is a Portland team that is strong mentally, that will fight in this house. You've got to put them away when you get those opportunities.
Lynn Williams setting a North Carolina record this season as Franch had to come out for that one. 14 goals for Williams this season. And you're right, those missed chances do have a way of coming back to haunt you. And Portland's got to create some challenges on the offensive end. And Adriana Franch right now is down in the goal for Portland.
She just waved off no. I don't know if that means no sub.
We'll see her team trying to attack on the other end. Klingenberg got open in the box. Matthias is down, and the offside flag is up. You see Franch back down in that crouch position in the far end. You wonder if she's okay. We'll take a look at what happened.
She had to come out to meet this ball. And it's right there. It's that left leg, left ankle, excuse me. Tries to plant.
AD, such a fighter. You know she's going to want any kind of tape, magic spray, whatever there might be to keep her on this field. But you see Nadine Unger, our goalkeeper coach, keeping a close eye on things, getting Britt Eckerstrom warmed up just in case. Mark Parsons may have a decision to make here. French did miss some games earlier in the season, and Britt Eckerstrom came on and started 10 matches for the Thorns. No playoff experience for the 25-year-old out of Penn State. She was a part of the 2016 Western New York team that won the NWSL Championship but did not play in that postseason. Chance of she's our keeper. Trying to lift French up.
That'd be a big loss, Jen, if French can't continue on. We talked about how bright she was in that semifinal match all season long with just her ability to make big-time saves and big-time moments.
Adriana French in goal is one of those game changers, and Eckerstrom came in, did a fine job, but that was a stretch of the season where this Portland Thorn team really did struggle. And a lot of that was the play in front of her, not necessarily Eckerstrom's fault, but they were missing several key players. AD will test it out a little bit. We're into stoppage time. There'll be some more beyond those 2 minutes, you can imagine, as French has been looked at. Mid-purse and the Portland bench trying to urge their keeper on. Will North Carolina be able to force Adriana French to prove that she's 100%? Right now it's going to be Portland ball. Sonnet will come up and take the free kick. The only goal scored in the NWSL Championship last year started with a free kick from Sonnet just on the other side of midfield, where she wound up finding Lindsay Horan for the game winner. She's going to play this one short. I'm not quite sure Menges was even ready for it. Now Menges will serve it up. Everyone, I think, Providence Park a bit shaken after seeing Adriana French go down. The Thorns trailing by 2. Everyone but North Carolina, which came in here on a mission to finish off this tremendous season that they've put together. Sinclair, Heath, sure to have more to say on this outcome. No call as Heath goes down. She's still down. Mark Parsons predicted she would be the most foul player in this match. And she's taken her share of hits, Heath, so far. Oh, Crystal Dunn. It's not the first time we've seen players showing what they think of potential dives.
Well, this is the first one on Tobin Heath, and it's Mewis that just leaves that leg in there and clips her. And here's the second one with Dunn up on Klingenberg, and she goes down. I mean, yeah, she trips her up. Not a lot in it.
So the first half ends. The North Carolina Courage lead the Portland Thorns 2-0. Dabinia and Jess McDonald, the goal scorers for the Courage. regular season champs, in control of this one so far. And will we see Adriana Franch in the second half? We'll have to find out. She had that ankle taped and is walking a bit gingerly off the field. Kate Markgraf is standing by with Paul Riley. Kate.
Coach, 2 goals in the first half. What are your thoughts on what you did well?
I think we've done a good job in transition with a good job in possession. I think 7 Sully have bossed the game so far. They've got to continue to boss it. 2 10s have got free. They can't find the beater, they can't find Crystal, so far so good. And obviously the Twin Towers up front have caused a lot of problems. Should have probably 4 or 5 right now, but we dominated the game. Try to keep going, can't relax. They get the crowd back in the game. We've quietened the crowd a little bit too, which is good. So I think we're in a great spot right now.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Coming up next, it'll be the Ford halftime show. Dallin will take a look at some of the best of this 2018 NWSL season and chat with NWSL Managing Director Amanda Duffy. Plus, we will all break down our first half. That's Ford Go Further.
Maria, so how's work?
It was 4th period biology. Our students just weren't getting how easily viruses spread. So Miss Bella and I had them role play a zombie virus outbreak. By the time they had all learned the lesson, all the living were dead. Hey, how's your job going?
That big sales meeting I planned? Next year, I might get to go.
Cool.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Welcome to the NWSL on Lifetime Ford Halftime Show. Ford, go further.
Back here at halftime, Providence Park, the NWSL Championship. Courage lead the Thorns 2-0. Those Courage fans are loving it. The Courage are up 2-0. Can they hang on? What do they have to do to walk out of here with the NWSL Championship trophy? You're watching Ford Halftime Show. Ford, go further.
At Coastal Credit Union, we offer financial services, but we're not a bank, and that's a good thing. Here's why. Banks answer to Wall Street. At Coastal, we're owned by our members. That means we answer to you. Banks charge their customers inflated, unnecessary fees to increase their profits. We actually share our profits with our members through higher dividends, better rates, and lower fees. Find out more about how we're different than banks and how we work harder for you and your money at bankbetter.org.
I'm here with a few of my best friends, the pediatric specialists at WigMed Children's. There's a whole bunch of them: pediatric surgery, cardiology, orthopedics, ENT. The list of specialties goes on. And everyone is like pediatric trained. Special care, special people makes me feel pretty special. WigMed Children's, your children's hospital, and a whole lot more.
Nearly 150 years of experience goes into making each and every Continental tire. So you can trust with total confidence that our tires will deliver superior performance, no matter where the road takes you. Continental Tire, for what you do.
Welcome back to the Ford Halftime Show. Ford, go further.
A bit of a stunned crowd here in Providence Park as the Portland Thorns trail the North Carolina Courage 2-0 after our first half. Jen Hildreth, Allie Wagner. Allie, I don't think anybody would really be surprised to see North Carolina playing well. That's what they've done all season long. But are you surprised a little at maybe that we haven't seen the best from Portland yet?
Yes, that's a great question. Yes, I think the back line has shocked me, and I know Emily Sonnet, we don't know how healthy she really is, but they've shocked me in kind of the disorganized fashion they've gone about it, and also the giveaways. I mean, you can't give North Carolina the ball in your defensive third and expect them not to wreak havoc and put you on your heels, because right now Portland doesn't seem to be able to mount any sort of consistent attack or keep the ball in possession, and they're just being pinned in their own end.
Well, let's get the take from down on the field as well. Kate Markgraf is with us. Kate, what are your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I agree with Allie, and part of that is the Thorns are unable to connect any passes. It seems like a very individual effort, and every time they get it out wide, everyone is waiting to see whether or not Tobin Heath can actually beat someone 1v1, which we saw once, and she was pretty dangerous. So it's a matter of those players combining, the best players combining a little bit higher up the field. And for the Courage, you get to see their bench going livid every time they miss a goal-scoring opportunity that's close. Jess McDonald has been responsible for 2. So they're constantly encouraging Sam Ewis, and I imagine that the communication between Sam Ewis that they keep talking to her is going to keep increasing. They seem to be guiding her a little bit tentative, and they're trying to bring her along.
Well, that's a great point, Kate. We could see a bigger scoreline in favor of the Courage. Let's take a look back at some of our highlights.
Well, this was early on in the match, and it's Lynn Williams getting around the edge there. She goes up against 2 players, and it's a deflection that comes right back at Dabinia. But this is all about Dabinia's work ethic, because she's banking on her teammate being able to get there. France can't even get anything to that, and it goes right into the path of Dabinia, who just slots that one home with maybe one of the most unlikely candidates to finish with her head in this match.
But that she did, so North Carolina leading after the 13th minute.
And this is Dabinia, because I think she's been one of the most instrumental players in this game to this point. Look at how savvy she is. She's got 3 players closing in on her, and it's that one pass that takes them all out. And O'Sullivan reads it. I mean, she knows that space is going to be there. This is how well the midfield works with each other. It's layers. They fill in the space that they open for each other, and that is why it's really hard for Portland to deal with right now defensively. And again, on their heels here, I mean, yes, they win the first one, but they don't get out of harm's way. And Jaylene Hinkle, who's been on point with her service, drops that one in on a dime. And then you've got 2 willing runners in Jess McDonald and Dabinia, who go fight for that one. Franch is caught off her line because she thinks her back line is maybe going to be there. And sure enough, Jess McDonald gets an easy goal.
And that came just a few moments after McDonald had missed one with her head. But then there was this moment where Adriana Franch came up gimpy after that challenge.
And she'd be a big loss for them if she can't continue in the second.
No question, and North Carolina dominating in the shots category in particular, 15-5 in that first half. Corners even at 2 apiece, and 13 fouls combined between the 2 teams in the first 45. When the NWSL on Lifetime returns, we will have the start of the second half from the 2018 NWSL Championship in Portland, Oregon.
At Strategic Systems, we understand that a reliable IT infrastructure doesn't just materialize by itself. We've been helping Triangle businesses of all sizes build and manage secure, reliable technology solutions for over 25 years. Strategic Systems and CEI. Are you transforming your business?
A month from now, you'll be a little older. A year from now, you'll be a little wiser. Will you be stronger? Your best is not behind you. Look forward.
If you have recently suffered an injury or had surgery, let the experts at Select Physical Therapy get you back to an active lifestyle. Our comprehensive programs deliver the highest level of physical therapy, hand therapy, sports medicine, and work health rehabilitation. Our highly skilled therapists develop individualized treatment plans to exceed your expectations. So don't live in pain. To request an appointment today, visit selectphysicaltherapy.com. Select Physical Therapy, the power of physical therapy.
This broadcast is presented by authority of the National Women's Soccer League and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the National Women's Soccer League.
Ready to go for the second half here from Providence Park of the 2018 NWSL Championship. Do the Portland Thorns have a comeback in them against the team that has been by far the league's best all season long? The North Carolina Courage leading 2-0 after the first half. And Kate Markgraf had a chance to catch up with Portland head coach Mark Parsons. Kate, what'd you hear?
Well, Coach Parsons wants a little bit more self-belief from this team. He wants them to have the greatest story ever, he said. Imagine if we came back in this environment and gave this win to our fans. He thinks they can do that if they're better defensively on transition, if they're able to create opportunities, actually get shots on goal. Even if they don't get in, they'll have enough time to get back as the goalkeeper tries to reset and stage an attack. But he's hopeful for his team to get on the ball and get back into this game.
See how they defend this throw-in from McDonald. She got back onto it. Now she serves it with her foot. Mewis headed it down. Williams headed to Dabinia. Those two in tight space. Jaylene Hinkle had the assist on Jess McDonald's goal in the first half. Ellie Carpenter looking for Ford. By the way, in 2016 against the Western New York Flash, Portland trailed 2-0 in that semifinal. Came back to tie, and the Flash wound up winning it 4-3 in overtime. Lynn Williams, 2 goals in overtime in that match for Western New York. Lindsay Horan. Now to Heath. Heath getting across the top of the 18. Tried to backheel it toward Horan. Courage all over it.
And even though they didn't get a shot off, that's much better from Portland. Finding Horan on that weak side, and that's how a lot of their offense is created. It's something that North Carolina did well on stifling the first.
Just a quick update on Adriana Franch, the Portland Thorns goalkeeper. She got injured right before break. I talked to the training staff at half. They evaluated her. They feel very confident she can continue. They taped her ankle. I watched her jog out a little bit gingerly, but playing in front of the Riveters, a lot of adrenaline will be pumping. I think she'll be able to play through it, it seems.
Well, we'll certainly keep an eye on her, Dallin, and see how well she is able to move back there. Big part of this Portland defense for sure. Not a good clearance from Crnogorcevic. Goes to Denise O'Sullivan, but Crnogorcevic got back to it, then was fouled. Erceg looking to quickly spring the ball forward. Not much happening that time around. This Portland team has played so well through the end of the regular season and into this championship match. Just 1 loss in their last 10, including the semifinal. Gorcevic bodied off the ball by Hinkle, who just sees it out of bounds for the goal kick. There's that finish I talked about. The last 10 of the regular season, Portland 7-2-1, continuing quite a trend since Mark Parsons has taken over this team and finishing strong.
They do seem to build and get better and have a stronger identity as they evolve through the course of season under Parsons.
And of course, a big storyline for this team this year was just getting everybody in and healthy. The number of players, key players, who missed time, 10 starters, missing a total of 67 games due to injury throughout the season for the Thorns. They are missing Haley Rasso still, their speedy Australian forward who was hurt against the Washington Spirit right at the end of the regular season. Other than that, this Portland team at fairly full strength. Kat Reynolds, another player who's out, key player defensively for them. Klingenberg took it over from Heath. Ford found a wide open Celeste Bourret, who gets it back to Klingenberg. Plenty of time to serve it up, but it's too close to Rowland. Certainly seeing Klingenberg deliver a more dangerous ball than that. You think with that time, she would hope to have kept it a little further away from the Courage goalkeeper, but Rowland boots it out of bounds, so Klingenberg and the Thorns will get it back.
And you're right, Jen, but I think the pressure thus far from Portland has been better this half.
On cue, a little bit of pressure there results in a play that North Carolina would like back. Gives up a corner. You never want to give that to any team, but especially the team that led the league this season in set-piece goals. And a chance for number 17 to serve it. The crowd tells you what they think of that opportunity. Left-footed ball from Heath. Rowland is out for it. McDonald just using her height to get up and over Sonnet. Hinkle tried to body it off that time, but the two Portland players around her made it difficult. Still is a throw for North Carolina. The boos haven't seemed to bother Hinkle so far in this one.
No, she's looked much more calm today than she did in that semifinal match.
You know, you wonder if in an odd way that for North Carolina, turning a negative into a positive, having already played on this field, they heard the boos on Tuesday. They were supposed to play their semifinal at home, of course. Long throw from Carpenter. They are on 3 days less rest, but all those days have been here in Portland to get ready, get comfortable for this final.
I think without a doubt it was an advantage for them having escaped that semifinal game. Because playing on this turf is a different animal. Playing in this park with this crowd.
Another corner kick coming for Heath and the Thorns. Guido Gonzalez over to talk to the players in front of goalkeeper Caitlin Rowland. See Sam Mewis in there trying to fire up her team. Gorcevic, the one that's been talked to. Lynn Williams on her back. A little more driven this time. Still out in front of the goal. Who wants it? Bourret got to it, up and over everybody, but sent it out of bounds.
And this is twice now that Rowland hasn't been able to get to some of these services dropping in. That's one of the reasons that Riley was comfortable putting her in this match, because she's the better of the two goalkeepers on those set-piece deliveries.
Well, that's a tough situation there if you're Jess McDonald, who was her own teammate who really kind of got in Rowland's way. But when you've got Lindsay Horan next to you, I think if you're McDonald, you're not taking any chances to let somebody else try to win the ball. You want to make sure Horan doesn't get her head to it.
Yeah, you just body off the other player and let your goalkeeper come get it.
season long. North Carolina Courage have lived by the hashtag of no finish line. Well, there may not have been one all season, but they've come right up to it now in the championship match. Portland Thorns, it's up to them to try to put a dent in this lead North Carolina has generated. Horan found herself free for a moment. Bourret towards Sinclair. She brings it down. Bourret back onto it. Back to Sinclair it goes. Heath, plenty of time, serves it toward goal. It's coughed up and then cleaned up, but not very far. Heath, will she give it another go? Has Crystal Dunn in front of her along with Mara Mathias. 2 to beat for Heath. She wanted the corner, won't get it.
And this is one of the first positive spells Portland's had in this match. North Carolina's just unable to clear their own box. This one pops out to Tobin Heath. She gets it on her favorite left foot and quick to the ground was rolling. You can see Mathias actually jumps up over that ball. So Roland's gonna see that late and she gets down, flex that, parries it right into traffic, in fact, doesn't pay the price.
And you saw who was lurking right where that ball was headed. If North Carolina cleared it, it was Lindsey Horan. So yes, some positive sparks showing for the Thorns. Horan connecting with Ford. Caitlin Ford tried to cut it back, now has a chance. Sinclair was waiting for it. Dabinia won it. Sonnet, Serna Gorchevich. Well done by Hinkle. Can Portland capitalize on some of this momentum they've generated?
And a couple things I'm seeing in the early half is Caitlin Ford, who's running onto it now, is her ability to hold that ball up. We saw some of it in the first half, but I think more so in the second half. It's helping alleviate the pressure because Portland can get it up to her and she's able to just take a few touches and get support underneath, and they're running off of her better.
Sinclair flicking it toward Ford. Now Christine Sinclair, the Thorns' all-time leading scorer, was running back after it. Bumped off the ball though. Mewis comes away with it. Still on her toes, ball at her feet. Mewis has the vision to thread that type of pass through. It didn't make it that time. Jess McDonald running onto this ball. Now she'll hold things up. McDonald turns Mangus around, gets it all the way across. Dabinia, those are the two goal scorers combining for North Carolina. Sonnet heads it back to McDonald. She'll go toward goal. Dabinia, the header! They don't count out the head of the Brazilian. 5-2, who cares? She's already scored one that way.
And always lurking in and around the 18. I mean, there's not a lot of pressure flying out from Portland. It allows Jess McDonald time to get her head up and just pick her spot, and she drops that one in incredibly nice behind the back line. And you've got the near post run and Lynn Williams, it drops right over her, and then Dabinia flying in. Almost a beautiful highlight reel goal there.
This crowd poised to explode. It is a sellout here at Providence Park. Once again, they sell it out the second time this season. 21,144, that is a new record, not just in the NWSL, but in any women's professional league in this country. Incredible atmosphere that has been subdued a bit by the way this North Carolina team has come in and taken the 2-goal lead. A small but mighty crowd of North Carolina Courage fans trying to make some noise of their own amidst the sea of red. Williams as Klingenberg got tangled up and went down. North Carolina pressuring, but fouling. Horan, quick look over her shoulder. Wants to go for Sorna Gorchevich. She flicks it towards Sinclair beautifully. Heath, a lot of time. Dabinia just won that race to the ball with Carpenter. Sonnet couldn't get past Williams, goes back to Menges. Bure will keep it moving toward Klingenberg. Can Portland find a way to unlock this North Carolina defense? It's the best in the league all year. Sinclair tapped it out to Carpenter. Back toward Ford. The two Australians linking up. Everyone lines up again for Carpenter. Who has to get past O'Sullivan, no easy task. Both Dabinia and Williams there to win it for North Carolina. Now Dabinia going back to Lynn Williams. Williams across the header from McDonald. Goes out of bounds. Those two, the Twin Towers that Paul Riley referred to.
Combining right here, Dabinia is the one that sets Lynn Williams free, but this is not, we should not take this for granted. The accuracy with which they serve those balls in the 18.
Another dangerous ball here, Allie. McDonald won it again.
How many times do we see teams get down to the 18 and then their cross goes awry, it's left wanting? And North Carolina, like 9 times out of 10, connects on those. Maybe the finishing touch isn't there, but 9 times out of 10, they find their recipient, they get their head up, and they're incredibly dynamic in that 18.
You're right, so often you see a hopeful ball, but theirs are much more often on point. Mewis. O'Sullivan. She's stripped. Said earlier, Tobin Heath looks like a woman on a mission. She has been every time she gets the ball. This one headed down, but nobody there to pick it up for North Carolina. Dabinia not ready to give up yet on this play. Carpenter won it, but then returned it. Nice work with the feet by the Irish international O'Sullivan, but now it's Horan. Sinclair.
You see Dabinia in the attacking end, and the more I'm seeing Crystal Dunn being the one responsible for dealing with Lindsay Horan as she gets on it now.
Here comes McDonald, got in behind, gets the ball through to Williams. One touch, now the shot!
What a save. Again, dynamic play from North Carolina coming from that outside edge, firing this one across. It finds Lynn Williams. And she gets just a half turn on it, rifling it towards that far post, and Adriana Franch, the fingertips right there.
Got just enough there to make sure it didn't go in. It does give up the corner. North Carolina leading the league in corner kicks. This season, they were also the most accurate in connecting on corner kicks. Let Mewis do it again. This time she's going to take Matthias for the shot. It's in! Jess McDonald does it again!
training ground this one is. It's Sullivan and Mewis there drawing 2 out, but it's Matthias that's wide open and rifles that one across. Bending, dipping, and Jess McDonald on an island. No one around her. She drifts in, and she could have been offside. It's hard to tell with the timing there. That is such a good ball. Bending, dipping, swirling, and then for Jess McDonald, what did Paul Riley tell her in the first half? Head it down. Keeps it in on frame. So much power on that. Hard for France to make the right play.
McDonald was issued the yellow card after the fact. I don't think she minds, though, if she's getting it for celebrating her second goal in a championship match. And is the mountain too high to climb for Portland now? The Thorns have had moments in the second half where they've looked dangerous, but North Carolina has finished.
And the opportunities that North Carolina have created have been really dynamic, really aggressive in getting in behind. I feel like with Portland, a lot of it has been more slow developing. And you just see the discipline and the shape of North Carolina's retreat and how hard it is to break it down.
Gets around 2 defenders, done. So speedy in the recovery, though. Sonnet getting that ball away from McDonald. Horan out to Klingenberg. Cutting in, up to McDonald. She's on 2 goals. Does she have 3? Not that time.
Talk about a woman on a mission. I mean, Jess McDonald is feeling it. She's confident. She turns her defender inside out and trying to curl that far post. Can't tuck it into bed, though.
First change of the match, Anna Gorcevic comes off. Andrusina comes on. What do you make of this substitution, Ali?
Get a hold of the game, get a hold of the ball. You're not going to be giving North Carolina as many counter opportunities if you can keep it, if you can get your numbers forward with the right build-up shape, as Mark Parsons likes to call it.
And Andrusina, more of that type of player than, say, a Midge Purse, who could come in as well. Heath will take the shot! Tobin Heath had the tying goal in the semifinal. And you wonder how just one might even change the dynamic of this game for Portland.
Well, we've seen it before with this group. And the way it lifts the crowd, the way it lifts the team, is that they do have that inner belief. But I think 3 goals against this North Carolina team is a really steep hill.
It is a big hill to climb, no doubt, Ali, but Mark Parsons is kind of trying to be positive. As soon as that shot took off, really applauded the team, trying to buoy them with some positivity and saying, just get one, just get one. To Jen's point, if you get one, you never know. Maybe you can open the floodgates.
Gotta take it one at a time, but right now you have to defend again as Williams is at it. Scary touch if you're Portland, but it does trail right along that end line and stay in. Andrusina will come back to help out. Goes back to her, and she can't keep it in. Jess McDonald, you may remember last year in the final, she had some of those chances she was not able to put away. Her team wound up losing to this Portland team 1-0. She's missed a couple today, but she's also put a couple home, more importantly.
And perhaps even more importantly is the outlet play that her and Lynn Williams offer.
Ford with a chance to break. Has Andresinia and fresh legs coming on the near side. That's where the ball goes. Hinkle got back, but gives up the corner. A corner kick is what eventually generated North Carolina's last goal on the other end. Can Portland find a way to do the same on this end? Roland wants it. Couldn't get much on it. Two Thorns players there, both Andresinia and Bourret. Klingenberg waits for everybody to get back on side. Now serves it in. Roland. Some hesitation again. Now she comes to get it as it got passed forward. Now Portland has shown in their service enough of a ball that has some hesitation and indecision on Roland's side, but the Thorns have just been unable to catch her with it. Andresinia, the push from Hinkle. Andresinia did well, just got right around both defenders that time. Spots Heath. Heath to Sinclair, a lot of space in front of her. Sinclair with the shot, and it's punched over.
Well, it's Andresinia who switches the play over to Heath and allows Sinclair that time just to get in front of that back line, whip that shot off.
It is sequences like that if you're a Thorns fan, keep you believing. Great ball again from Heath. This one, though, Roland making no mistake, pulling it down with both gloves.
This is the save, though, by Roland. She had to take a couple adjustment steps and get that big glove to it.
Jess McDonald if things stay the way they are. The journeywoman who has finally found a home. 6 teams in 5 years in the NWSL. But has been fantastic for this North Carolina team.
And much like Lindsey Horan, we talk about her offensive production. With Jess McDonald, her and Lynn Williams up top, the work they do defensively, they're the ones that start the press. They're the ones that double back. They're the ones that create the space for Dabinia to get in.
Ford, touchdown for Horan. Horan, maybe thinking about it, now brought it back. Up to Dabinia. She'll charge toward the middle. Lays it off for Williams, who ran right onto it. Back to Dabinia. Williams. Wonderful movement from Williams, but her shot too high.
And her and Dabinia have a special connection. You see it. They read each other incredibly well. With Lindsey Horan, it's a positive for Portland. They've got to get her higher on the pitch. You're seeing her more in the offensive third, but in that last break by North Carolina, they're getting in both behind Horan and Bourret. Dabinia was, and that opened things up on the counter. This midfield for North Carolina has been fantastic today.
Williams, great speed. McDonald, one touch to Dabinia. O'Sullivan. Done. Well done by Ellie Carpenter, the youngster, winning it and now looking to start things the other direction for Portland. Just barely got away the ball to Ford. Sinclair, who Mark Carson said so often plays the best ball when she gets it, finds its way to Heath. She wanted to get around Matthias, and Mara Matthias not having it that time. Now Heath back though. Sinclair played every minute this season for Portland.
Go back, the service!
Klingenberg. Will this be the service that sets it up for Portland? Heath wanted it! Dabinia knew it. Sinclair comes in!
And I think North Carolina's lucky because Lindsey Horan had ghosted into that back post and no one had picked her up. Seen it a couple times where Dunn will be on her and she'll release her into that back line. The center backs or the fullbacks have to pick her up, but no one's picking her up and she's wide open in the box, ready for a service. It just didn't come.
It was quite a week for the North Carolina Courage, who saw their semifinal moved out of Cary due to the threat of Hurricane Florence. Had to play it here on Tuesday night instead of originally scheduled on Sunday. And speaking of Hurricane Florence, the NWSL has partnered with the American Red Cross to help provide shelter, food, comfort, and emergency support to those affected by Hurricane Florence. You can donate online and help provide immediate aid at redcross.org/NWSL. Mewis. Dabinia looked to be a bit open and was offside.
Yeah, just a few yards.
Horan headed it toward Heath. Horan tried to volley. Klingenberg. Who can get control of it? Hinkle wanting to leave it for Rowland, but with Sinclair right there, couldn't do it. Sinclair eventually called for the foul.
Those two battling for it. Here's the foul by Sinclair on Hinkle.
Kristen Hamilton coming into the match to replace Dabinia, who certainly had her impact felt today.
Well, Hamilton comes in off of Dabinia to give some fresh legs. They feel like they need to get more pressure on the ball higher up on the field to thwart this momentum that Portland is starting to build.
And I would agree with that, but I also think Dabinia's been one of your brightest players today. The timing of her runs to get into the 18, the way she can solve pressure, along with those two up top, she's been a fantastic outlet.
Here is Hamilton, immediately sandwiched by two Thorns players. Carpenter keeping a close eye, McDonald over her shoulder, but Williams came streaking in to make things difficult as well, so Ellie Carpenter just booting it out of bounds in the end. Williams trying to eat a little clock there. A lot of time left though. Offside. Whistle against the Courage, who are looking to put an exclamation point on what has been a record-setting season. Look at those all NWSL records that they set this season. They were explosive offensively, stingy defensively, and now looking to be the first team ever to win the double, the regular season title and the NWSL Championship.
And what did Paul tell us yesterday? They're the underdogs coming in.
He always believes they're the underdogs. Heath had her pass picked off by Dunn. had a feature in our pregame show about Crystal Dunn, talking about her versatility, and she can be so explosive and dynamic offensively, but I think her defensive work has stood out really all season long, and in this match in particular.
Couldn't agree more. I think the work that she's been doing to close down Haran when she's been in her area, she's been the one largely tasked with spying her.
Ford. Heath.
No way, Matt. It's fine.
Mathias will give up the throw to Klingenberg. Sinclair, the only one in red there, may have thought she had somebody behind her. Talked about the curse of the shields as Hamilton commits the foul on Andresina. Courage trying to break that. Portland, though, trying to be the first team to ever host both the semifinal and the championship and win in the final game. Happened the first 2 years of the league, and both the teams at home did not win the title. Lindsay Haran. What a target she is on balls like this. She got her foot to it after the fact. Depley heads it down. Ford with the turn. The shot from Caitlin Ford was batted. No, not touched by Rowland. Thought she did get a piece of it, but it'll be a goal kick.
Well, for once, Ford's able to face herself up and get her own look on goal. Always rising above.
Remember, Caitlin Ford, just 6 appearances in the regular season for this Portland Thorns team after she missed the first 14 games after being injured in the W League semifinal. I think just starting to see what she'll really be able to add to this group.
I'm just continually impressed with her back to goal play.
And you wonder about that play right there. Franch, who may be a bit gimpy on that ankle, had McDonald bearing down on her.
Well, that's when you know, as the back line, is your goalkeeper capable of playing out with her feet, dealing with this injury. Probably just don't risk it.
Andresina let that ball through to Carpenter, but Hinkle, tough to get around. Haran back heel to Bure. Klingenberg had the outside edge, wanted to go back. Another back heel from Haran. This time it's Sinclair with the ball at her feet. Sinclair into the box. 4 North Carolina players surrounding her. Sonnet blew through to win it. She's still coming after it. If you're Portland, you've got to start taking some risks now. On her switch to Heath. Might see some tired legs from this Portland team now, moving a bit slower.
Well, remember, Jen, North Carolina was the one that played on Tuesday.
Portland had their semifinal a week ago, beating Seattle on this field. In some space now, in the box. Ball not cleared yet for North Carolina.
one of those, I think, experience will help Emily Sonnet. You just don't need to go in the back of her. She's got no one around her. There's numbers for you defensively. You don't even need to come close to fouling there. Just the little shove in the back is enough to make her dive, go down, and get the call, and now North Carolina is going to be sending a ball from halfway into your zone.
And letting more time tick off that clock. Time on the side of the Courage. Trip called against North Carolina, so Sonnet will take the kick. Ford has a flag up. She may have come from an offside position, I suppose. This Portland Thorns team so confident coming into this match. Their fans coming out in full force to support them, but a lot of concern in the stands of Providence Park as their team now with less than 5 minutes to play, plus whatever stoppage time is added on, and trailing perhaps the best team in the history of this league by 3 goals. Kate Markgraf mentioned in the pregame show some of the international experience added to this North Carolina team this season. These 2 players in particular. Crystal Dunn comes off. Heather O'Reilly comes into the match. O'Reilly, 231 appearances in her 14 years with the U.S. national team. Or the World Cup Championship team in 2015. She'll try to see this thing out for the Courage. O'Sullivan won it and then just sent it up the field for McDonald. Haran. Setting up Andresina. Back to Haran. Lindsay Haran's shot is saved by Rowland. North Carolina fans who have made the trip to Portland, Oregon, making some noise now.
Small but mighty over there in that corner.
If they're travel weary from coming across the country, they don't show it. Neither the team nor the fans. As you pointed out, North Carolina's had a chance to get comfortable here in Portland after playing their semifinal here Tuesday night. Andresina to Haran, back for Heath, now it's Sinclair, Ellie Carpenter, didn't want to shoot it herself, tried to set up and Ford got in there late, bumped the goalkeeper. But nearly every one of the key players in the attack for Portland touching the ball in that sequence.
Such a good point, Jen, and it all just shifted right across the 18-yard box. They were in right positions, good layers there, and you see the knock on Rowland, but that was something we just haven't seen from Portland today. Moving the ball quickly, getting those layers of support underneath. Left their performance a bit wanting, I would say, in the attacking third. The disconnect has been great. And you almost wonder why didn't Desmond Parsons have gone more aggressive sooner, knowing you're down 3-0, but I think that's the threat of North Carolina, the fear of being further exposed.
Saw the no finish line banner. Did they bring some Krispy Kreme donuts to match that banner? North Carolina as a state, the home of Krispy Kreme, in case you were wondering. They may say no finish line, but the finish line, I'd say, is pretty close for the Courage right now. Many of these players won an NWSL Championship as a part of the Western New York Flash. 2 years ago, and now they are ready to win one for the North Carolina Courage. To the end, though, the Thorns fans proving why this is the greatest atmosphere in women's soccer. McDonald, was she out of bounds? Now she is, and she comes up a little bit gimpy afterward. A cramp or something, but obviously she'll play through.
Why would you throw that ball into her?
You're hurting here. She was in the corner. That's where they're trying to go to take time off. Just 2 minutes of stoppage time added on. And despite fighting this season to earn a home field advantage in the NWSL Championship Game, the Portland Thorns just got outplayed in the end. The North Carolina Courage proving why they had such a great season.
How many times have you seen a team run the gamut in the season and then come up short in the final? North Carolina, they had something to prove. Bad taste in their mouth after last year's final. Felt they were wronged a bit. They didn't even have Dabinia going in.
I remember Sam Mewis in particular after that match. Julie Foudy interviewed her and she said, "What excites you about this team?" And Mewis said, "Winning. Next year we're going to be back with a vengeance." It starts now. That was when it started. They're about to finish it off. One more substitution. Darian Jenkins is trying to come in, and she's going to replace the goal scorer 2 times today, Jess McDonald. A former Portland Thorn has been a thorn in their side today.
What a game she had. Didn't let those missed opportunities get in her head. The work rate, the space that she found herself in. Big time performance from her.
Well into our 2nd minute. Stoppage time, and Ellie Carpenter, didn't really see what happened there, but she's in some pain coming off the field. Hate to see her make an early exit. Fun addition she's been in the league this year, joining the Thorns on her 18th birthday, youngest player ever in this league. Just waiting for the final whistle now. North Carolina Courage dominated all season. They were pretty dominant today. Heath to the end line. Heath, her end connection, just couldn't get it today. The North Carolina Courage, your 2018 NWSL champions. Tough to take for Christine Sinclair and all of these Portland Thorns.
Where you go, Apollo? Bring it down my way. It's the 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, baby.
Courage not giving up a goal in the postseason. Sabrina D'Angelo getting the shutout in the semifinals against Chicago. Caitlin Rowland getting against Tobin Heath and this talented Portland Thorns attack today. the scene, the moment that will be etched into the memories not only of this entire North Carolina organization and the historic season that they've had, but of every other team in this league as to what they are striving for moving forward.
And just how dominant they were, Jen, throughout the course of the season, and then to finish it off the way they did. Such a strong performance in the final. I mean, you think about the momentum that Portland had coming in.
No shock, Paul's all smiles down here. Basically, you won a treble. You won the Shield, you won the NWSL Championship, and the ICC Championship. How do you sum up this season? It was so amazing.
Yeah, it's hard to sum up a season like that. Somebody just said you're 24 seconds from being unbeaten, man, which is incredible in this league. But I mean, to be on 12 games on the road, tied 4 on the road, to go 16 games without a loss on the road is incredible. And to come in here with this kind of cauldron and perform like that, forget the result. The performance was excellent. We were the better team. We created a lot of chances, and I mean, it can't. Their work ethic and everything today was unbelievable, man. But they deserve to win it. To be honest, we deserve to win the game. They're a very good side. Iran was great again today. Tobin, we kept under wraps a little bit most of the day. But it was a really good performance from us, and it was a difficult place to play, as you know.
It is a difficult place to play, but you guys rose to the challenge yet again.
Maria, so how's work?
It was 4th period biology. Our students just weren't getting how easily viruses spread. So Miss Bella and I had them role play a zombie virus outbreak. By the time they had all learned the lesson, all the living were dead. Hey, how's your job going?
That big sales meeting I planned? Next year, I might get to go.
Cool.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.